This is Unrendered on IKTV. You can follow us on Twitter at iConcepts. My guests are Stephen Joachim and Chester Connell. Gentlemen, can we sustain the pension scheme, as it were, in its current form?
Can I, if you would permit me for 2 seconds to read a piece of the Prime Minister's speech. First of all, he says, government is also continuing with its plan to reform the public service pension system. Public sector service pensions absorb a considerable amount of public resources. 11.3% of revenues in 2013 go towards paying pensions. This is set to increase in the coming years. Since established government employees are eligible for both NIS and government pensions, workers who retire with the maximum allowed years of service will be entitled to a pension with a replacement rate of 127% of their salaries. This is an issue, Tony, that Sir James Mitchell was aware of and tried to do something about, and reversed his position after the roadblock revolution, I'm told. This is a thing that Annie Musis is 110% aware of. This is something that Ralph Gunstavs is aware of.
So
and
why is this
everybody is terrified to touch it because whoever touches this will probably lose the next election. So anybody who's going to do this has to do it very early on in their first term, or very early on in their next term.
And yet, Stephen, you were saying that the system is not failing us. Because if the system is about just winning the next election, then it has failed us.
But that is the way the system is, and it will.
But we can't accept the system.
No, but you know what?
No,
but the system works. You know why? Because eventually we will bankrupt ourselves.
Yes.
And we have seen it, guys. It's in Greece.
Right.
We have seen what's going on in St. Kitts.
So
We've seen what's going on in Grenada.
So
Look
we have
at
to
Greece.
have undue hardships.
No. These public sector servants, correct.
Yes.
We have to have undue
before
hardship.
the system rates itself.
Bottom of the bucket has to drop out.
Before the system reforms itself. And we're headed there, and we will get there, gentlemen. If
don't
this is
know
not
that.
reformed, anything else we're talking about, airport, education, healthcare, nothing else matters, because this is what is going to kill us. And nobody is taking it seriously. Dr. Gonsalves is talking about it, and he has to deal with it, or else whoever wins the next election will have to deal with it, or it will be dealt with.
So can you accept this position that Stephen is putting forward there, that the system would right itself only after, like Greece, like Spain, you know, where we collapse and we virtually go through extreme hardship? But what's the point of an education then? What's the point of being able to think? What's the point of being able to?
I agree.
Precisely. You know, see something and avert it.
I agree and disagree with Stephen. I agree that the system will right itself, but you know that's like what, the Titanic sinking and then being brought up again. I mean, you don't want to right yourself that way. You want to fix the problem before you hit the iceberg.
That
and
takes
it's possible.
great leadership to do that.
And we don't have that leadership?
Well, we may get it eventually, but the people want to win the next election also. The person who wins the next election must deal with this issue, or we are doomed. It's just that simple.
But
if this isn't addressed, folks, and it is wrong, I am telling you in front of, and anybody else, it is wrong for somebody who's retired, who's no longer working, to be getting paid more money than they were when they were working. We know this.
Okay, fine.
And we can make this strong case to the electorate, except
like
if you're making $127 and you're making the $100 before, you want your money still. Oh, I work for it, I deserve it. You didn't. You don't deserve it.
It's like
but no politician is going to tell a public servant that.
It's like a classic oxymoron, Chester.
Yep.
You know, I make more in my retirement than I make when I was actually working and contributing.
But Stephen, don't the people have a responsibility? We're focusing on the government and government policy, fiscal measures.
So, what is the NDP position on this matter? What is the ULP position on this matter? What are they going to do about it? The ULP are talking about it. Right. They have said it needs to be addressed. They haven't proposed yet how it will be addressed, for good political reasons not to. What is the NDP going to address this also?
So we have been robbed, gentlemen. We have been robbed a debate. And I'm not pointing fingers at the NDP. I'm not pointing fingers at the ULP. I'm pointing fingers at both of them, actually. So I am pointing fingers, but at both of them. We've been robbed this debate, this discussion, because apart from people listening to this program and you articulating that, where else has it been aired? You know,
hang on. The Prime Minister, hold on. The Prime Minister raised this.
The Prime Minister raises it.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But where has it been debated?
And do you think anybody else in the opposition or in the government is going to get up and talk about this issue?
But in the
not
end,
one, sir. Because they haven't in the past. This issue's been going on for 30 years. We saw it coming. We can all do basic mathematics.
But in the end, does it matter if it was debated, Tony?
Thank you.
Because, you know, things are going to continue within the system. That's why I'm saying we need tremendous reform, and it takes intelligent, purposeful people in the communities around St. Vincent to get up. All the media need to work together. We need to stop taking political sides, and we are the government. Communities need to rise up and say, listen, we need to take VAT off of local farming produce. We need to make changes where we need to make them in the communities. This is what this community requires. Don't give us this. We don't want that.
Tony, what about the role of the media here? Because we heard the NDP, and again on Kenton Chance's station there, blog, talking about the role of the media and complaining about how the media had covered the debate coverage. But the reality is, let's look at the...
So is the NDP complaining because the media did not take their side?
Correct.
Is
that is why the NDP are complaining because the media did not take their side. Correct. And we know this. But the reality is there is no place in our media now where debate is promoted, except on one radio station by one fellow who I think is doing an outstanding job, but that should remain nameless for now because Chester knows him very well. There is, you listen to the NDP radio station.
The Freitas. I can say it.
Fine, you can say it. I like Kingsley.
Unrendered.
Kingsley's a terrific guy, and he actually encourages people to come and debate and talk and argue. No other media
So are you
house,
saying
none
Unrendered
have
is
that.
not doing
no
that?
When was the last time Unrendered had an NDP person on one side and a ULP person on the other, and let's talk and debate the issue?
Maybe I have that right now. Maybe I have that right now in the person of Steve Joachim and Chester.
No, neither one of us are politicians.
But it's not, it is not the media's role to take the side of political parties. That's precisely what I'm saying.
But it is the media's role maybe to stimulate debate and force people to come together and debate, because that is not happening now. You listen to nice radio, it is totally and fanatically one-sided. Look at what just happened with the Liatin accusing the Prime Minister. It is disgraceful. You look at the Star FM, you're hearing exactly the same crap, the same rabid crap. I heard somebody calling on nice radio the other day and dared to try to suggest something different, and Mr. Leacock almost killed him. And you hear the same thing on ULP. You call in there and dare to suggest something from an NDP viewpoint, you almost get killed. You don't get, let us discuss this, let's talk about it, let me try and persuade you of why I'm right and you are wrong. You don't get that. What you get is yelling, screaming, animosity, and slammed, cut you off.
All right, before we run out of time, because we're going to deal with the Christmas floods as well, which is another major event. I chose to bring that second, and but it is very important that we get this aired here. My first question is, in the handling of the aftermath of the Christmas floods, in terms of the management of the restoration and the relief efforts and so on, from where you guys sit, is the NDP justified in making their claims that there is partisanship in the distribution of relief goods, so much so that they cannot participate through a NEMO conduit?
Again, it goes back to the whole issue of divisive politics. It's within a system, it's within a bigger parameter, it's within that structure of divisive politics. So whatever happens, here we have a crisis, one that is unprecedented, yet we cannot surmount our petty partisan political system. So everything falls within that. So no, it was not responded to in the correct way, and we've got to try and widen our vision and understand, if NEMO is the organization and Red Cross, an international organization, is twinned with that, let us find some way of making it work, because it is the status quo, but let us improve it.
Let me hear Steve.
Listen, I have been on this show and radio all over the place and complaining and slamming the ULP for various things. But when credit is due, it is due. When I saw what happened and the disaster that happened, first of all, it was Christmas morning and I got a call from the Lime General Manager, Leslie Jack, and he said, we've got to do something. We call Nigel Graves, we say, we need to open your supermarket, please. He opened it for us immediately, gave us full access to everything. He took a Musty Company truck, took Lime trucks, and we immediately started transporting food and water. We didn't call Ralph, we didn't call Julian and say, do you need help?
Why doesn't that happen all year round?
When you see what happened,
that's what I'm talking about.
When you see, I think the government should be given great credit for how they handle this situation. I've traveled up and down throughout this whole country. I've spent a lot of time with Julian Francis at different points, and he's done, in my opinion, an outstanding job of cleaning up and getting things done quickly and organizing things very quickly to make sure people got food and water and roads were cleared. An outstanding job, and I have no qualms about saying that. Now the next phase. cleaning up and so on. I was with Julian as part of the Musty Charitable Trust the other day. We were in North Leeward because obviously, and again, I'm not with Julian Francis, the ULP politician. I'm with Julian Francis, the representative of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I was fortunate enough to be in meetings with the Prime Minister and certain other people.
Right.
And he handled the situation extremely well. And I thought he did an excellent job. And if that causes people to say I'm an acolyte, then say what they like. But at the end of the day,
yes,
that first phase was handled, in my opinion, in a fantastic manner. Now, you have to understand that people are always going to complain. I was in a situation where I'm in North Windward, and we're trying to get water trucks to go to certain people. And in order to get to the people at the end of the road, you know what that means? You have to pass some of the people who are standing on the side of the road there asking. And those same people who are standing on the side of the road are understandably angry,
yes, because
they're not getting their fair share. And those same people are going to get up and say, you see, they're passing me straight. But that is not the way it really works, guys. The reality is we had to go and deliver water to those people first. And when we came back, we get water and come to you. So everybody got a turn.
Stephen.
So I don't really see, I saw no evidence whatsoever.
I
didn't see Julian wearing a red shirt. I didn't see Julian asking anybody anyway, are you an NDP supporter? Now you may accuse me of being naive and whatever, but I saw no evidence of that whatsoever. I saw people trying to help people.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but my bigger picture point here, Stephen, is that no, I'm not trying to discredit and take away from Julian Francis's superb organizational skills. The man is excellent at doing that. We've seen that time and time again when he organizes the ULP
rallies, etc.
Excellent. Man has a skill. He has a talent, tact, genius at doing that. Great. But do we need to have, you know, this super guy show up at these times and make things right? Why don't we use that talent and genius and the powers of the government to empower people throughout the year, so that so that when a crisis comes in Cuba, for instance, which is a whole different system, when the government says move, there's a hurricane coming, everybody moves.
Has to move.
Right.
We don't have that system.
Right. So I'm saying the system that we should have is education throughout the year, so that people
fair enough,
know how to manage their own lives.
Gentlemen, I want to come back on the operations of NEMO, because NEMO is the ones that are coming in for criticism by the NDP. I mean, Alan, the leader of the opposition, made a statement that not over his dead body that anything coming to the NDP will be given to NEMO. So this is a problem.
Yes.
And I'm asking you, we're going out to the end of the segment here, but I'm asking you to think about this when we come back. Is the criticism of NEMO and the way NEMO is structured, and not just the 9 people or so in the offices, but all the other ministries that are attached to this whole disaster management process, is the criticism of the way that NEMO thing handled the Christmas flood restoration relief effort, is the criticism by the NDP justified? Let's pick it up when we come back. This is Unrendered on IKTV. My guests are Stephen Joachim and Chester Connell. We'll be into our final segment when we come back.